In this episode, Connor and Hakim do something they have never done before. They react to a mystery movie that will make you grab your head in disbelief, pass out, and wake up somewhere on a beach not knowing what the hell just happened. Stay till the end for nuggets like this one.
You don't know me. I curate exhibits for museums. I'm telling you this because I want you to trust me and not think I'm being hysterical when I say there's something very wrong with my child.
But let's start at the beginning.
Hello Reno everybody. So today we're doing something new, Hakim.
Okay, what do you have in mind?
We're going to review and rate a movie based on 3 important factors: story, characters, and emotional impact.
Sound interesting. Which movie you choose?
Well, I know you like movies with a twist, so the first one will be the horror/mystery movie Old by M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan? He sound familiar.
He directed movies like Sixth Sense and Unbreakable.
Sixth Sense was amazing movie. This is guy who makes the movie with the crazy twists, right?
Exactly.
This is cool. Let's do this.
The movie starts with a married couple and their 2 children taking a trip to a tropical resort where they are having a family vacation. After meeting the manager, they explore the resort, and while the parents Prisha and Guy are enjoying their complimentary drinks, their children Maddox and Trent meet and befriend the nephew of the manager, Idlib.
That are some weird names. First guy is called Guy?
Yes, so it's revealed that the parents are going through a divorce, and while they are fighting with each other, their children distract themselves by playing a message decoding game with Idlib, sending encoded letters back and forth between each other.
So this is last trip with them as family, huh?
Yes, in more than one way.
What do you mean?
Well, the next day, the manager invites them to spend a relaxing day at a secluded beach, where they meet other hotel guests, and while they are there, the madness begins.
What happened?
Well, first, they find a famous rapper mid-sized sedan sitting on the beach, and waiting for a companion who went for a swim.
This guy is just sitting in Ford Focus on beach?
No, that's his name.
Name of rapper is Sedan?
Mid-sized sedan, yes.
This M. Night Shyamalan really has naming problem.
Anyway, after a while, the hotel guests discover the dead body of a young woman who is washed upon the beach. It is the rapper's companion, and an older gentleman who happens to be a doctor accuses mid-sized sedan, who is bleeding out of his nose, of murdering her.
But he didn't do this, right?
No, he didn't, and before they can think about what to do, something very disturbing happens.
Here we go.
Guy and Prisha discover that their children, who are 6 and 11, have aged rapidly and suddenly look like teenagers.
Oh, what is going on?
I know, right? The same thing happens to Kara, the daughter of the doctor.
So parents lose their mind and everybody go crazy and cry?
No, they just stand in a circle and theorize about what is happening to them.
Nobody freaking out?
Not during their theory sessions, and there are quite a lot of them.
This is stupid.
So they come to the conclusion that the beach has some kind of aging effect on them, and 30 minutes on the beach equals 1 year of their life.
But why nobody grow very long hair or fingernails?
Well, they theorize that the aging effect only applies to living cells and not dead ones.
How they figure this out so quickly? They have some genius scientists with them or what?
No, every time something weird happens, they just brainstorm ideas, and their theories happen to be right all the time.
So when they discover this, why they don't just leave the beach?
Because trying to leave the beach through the way they came results in them losing consciousness and waking up on the beach again.
So everybody keep getting older and die of hunger?
No, they have a big box full of food, and especially the children eat quite a lot of it.
But even if they have enough food, they can't eat that fast to support body growth of 1 year in 30 minutes.
Anyway, one by one the hotel guests die off. First the doctor's old mother and her dog, followed by mid-sized sedan who is stabbed to death by the schizophrenic doctor.
What? Doctor is crazy now?
Yes, I forgot to mention, the hotel guests discover that at least one member of each family has an underlying medical condition. Prisha has a tumor in her stomach, mid-sized sedan has hemophilia, which is why he's bleeding out of his nose all the time, the doctor has schizophrenia, and a woman of this other couple has epilepsy. Before he goes completely crazy though, the doctor is able to cut out the tumor, which has grown to the size of a rugby ball in a matter of hours. But it's not that easy because...
Because they have nothing to disinfect knife with, huh?
No, because the incision keeps closing very fast with the way time works and all, so they hold it open with their hands and...
So they cut out tumor and she still die of terrible infection?
No, she's fine. Wakes up right after the surgery.
I have headache. What happened at the end of movie?
So, like I said, they can't escape the beach, not even by water. One of them tries and, like the rapper's companion, loses consciousness in the water and drowns. One of the girls tries to climb the rocks, but loses consciousness as well and falls to her death. So by the end of the day, everybody except for Maddox and Trent has died, and by the next morning, they are like 50 years older or something. That's when Trent suddenly remembers that he still has an unopened letter Idlib sent him when they were playing that message decoding game. He decides to decode and read it before he dies, and
Don't tell me that.
it basically contains the only route to escape the beach. You see, Idlib writes in the letter that his uncle, the manager, doesn't like the corals, so when Maddox and Trent spot a coral reef not far away from them in the water, they put one and one together and figure there must be a way out over there. So they dive to the reef and...
How can they swim or dive if they got this new 60-year-old bodies only a couple of hours ago?
So they somehow manage to dive to the reef and find an underwater tunnel full of corals that leads them away to safety.
So movie twist was that they had way to escape the whole time in backpack of little boy?
No, there's a bigger twist. You see, the hotel guests on the beach were under observation the whole time by the bus driver who drove them to the beach, and when he watches Maddox and Trent go underwater without re-emerging, he assumes they are all dead, and reports back to the manager who has a secret lab at the resort where they test medicine on unsuspecting people for the pharmaceutical industry.
Are you kidding me?
No, you see, the complimentary drinks they hand out to the guests upon their arrival contain medicine against their respective affliction, and making use of the way time works on the beach, they can test their medical drugs a lot faster, and the hotel guests are like guinea pigs in one of the many clinical trials.
This is stupid.
Well, it all comes to an end anyway when Maddox and Trent turn up and call the police on them. So there's a happy ending after all.
How they call police on them?
Well, there's an American police officer who happens to spend his vacation at the resort and they tell him.
So they blow whole expensive operation on remote island, which is probably backed by powerful people, by telling one police guy who doesn't even have authority in foreign country? Let's go to next category, please. So how does movie show different characters in movie?
Well, Trent has this weird thing in the beginning of the movie where he runs up to every character who later becomes important and asks their name and occupation.
What are your names and what do you do for a living?
I'm Greg Mitchell. I'm a cop.
Cool.
What are your names and occupations?
I'm Jaron. I'm a nurse.
I'm Patricia. I'm a psychologist.
He remembers everyone's names and things about them.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Very convenient for audience.
Yeah.
And what else we learn about characters other than name and occupation?
So in this part of the review, we discuss the emotional impact of the movie and...
Maybe you can just show me a couple of scenes with emotion and then we see.
That's a good idea.
What about intense scene between main couple of movie?
Okay, let's see.
Guy?
Yeah.
What book am I reading?
I don't know. What?
No reason.
Ah, maybe this one. Guy wants to tell his wife something very important.
Vriska, I wanted to tell you something. No, never mind. I'll tell you later.
How about one of the first death scenes?
Ah, in this scene, the doctor discovers that his dog just died.
The dog has died!
I was only just alive. What's happening?
Okay, last chance. Give me emotional scene where they discover the children are suddenly older.
Ah, good idea. There it is.
What I know is that we have to get these kids to a hospital. Now. Look, let's stop talking about it. The kids are scared. I can stay here with them, but everyone else should try and find a different pathway off this beach.
Break off into groups of 2 in case people black out.
So I hope you liked our review, and now it's time to rate each category and...
Shame on you, M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm curious, like, you must have had a great script supervisor who kept track, like,
I think it's also, I'm really, bland, and, I'm not really, it's not like,